Hi, my name is Steve and this is Graphic and Design. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create these text circles using Affinity Designer. So let's start. The first thing that we need to do is we need to create the canvas to start doing our design. So the first thing is we go to File, New, and I got something already created here. That is a square, 1600 pixels by 1600 pixels. I'm using 400 dpi, so maximum resolution, and I keep it square so everything is easy to center everything on the image. Let's click OK, and we create a canvas. As you can see, I'm using with a background, a white background. Now, the first thing that we need is some guidelines, especially to keep the center. To bring the guidelines, if you don't have the rulers, is Command R will bring the rulers up, and what you do is for the horizontal one, you go to the top, you click and you drag and you bring the guide, and we put it right in the middle, and then we release, and then we do the same. If you go to your left on the screen, you will see that there is the other ruler, and we bring it right to the middle and we leave it like that. Now, to prevent these to be moved in any way, we need to actually lock them. So we go to View and Lock Guides. So now this, you cannot move them. The other thing is what we are going to do is just only for us to get a more or a better sense of proportion, if you want to call it like that. I'm going to put a circle with no fill at all and a stroke of just 1 pixel. It needs to be just only a little bit visible on the middle. Always remember to make it something square. Is Control Shift click and drag and you make it perfectly square. So let's make it roughly 900, 1000, somewhere. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's just only to give us an indication where are we working in. And what I'm going to do is then, with that one selected here on my layers panel, I'm going to click that lock. So now this one cannot be moved. Okay, so first I'll bring here just only as a reference. I'm not going to copy exactly what I have here, but just only to have a reference. So let's start with these lines and those dots that we have there. So let me move this out of the way. For the lines, what we do is we are going to use the pen tool and on the center, and I'm going to click in there just only to create that line, and I'm going to give it a stroke. Let's make it a little bit more substantial, a stroke of 2. And the other thing is now we need to create those small circles, and I'm not going to create the one that is in there. I'm going to create one somewhere there, something like this. I'm going to give it a fill on black, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one a little bit smaller. So if we zoom, we see that is the, what we are going to do now is we are going to hit shift, click to select everything, Command G to actually group. Now I wanted to move these ones to put it in a different position, but we need to keep the center always at the center of the circle. So if I rotate this one now, you can see the center is right at the middle of my figure, not at the corner or at the center of my text circle. So to move that, actually, if you go up to your context bar, this toolbar, this context toolbar actually change when you change your tool or you select different kind of shape. So clicking in there, if we see now we have that is our rotation center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap it right in the middle. So now when I actually move this, you can see now moves on the center. So let's get back to 0. So I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to make quite a few copies. Let's see, I think a 3 or 4 will be fine. Let's make 3 for now. Then we are going to modify them. So control is Command J to actually duplicate, and I'm going to shift it somewhere there. Let's give it some variance, and I'm going to click the original one as well, Ctrl J again, and I'm going to move it something like this. Now this one I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. We drag it, we make it something like this, a little bit there. I think it should be fine. This one we can move it somewhere there, and let me put it there, and this one maybe make it a little bit bigger there. So Command 0 to center. So we have just the first part. Now let's start with these triangles that we have here. For those triangles, what I'm going to use is what is called the donut. So clicking in there again on the center, Command Shift, click and drag to make a donut. Now we press A to change our tool. So now we have the node tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it something like this. Let's zoom in. I think it's something like this is fine. Somewhere there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate that one. This one is already centered, so I'm going to Command J to create another copy. I move it something like that. Click the original one, Command J, and I'm going to put this one on the other side. Now I think the most interesting part that I can show you is, let's create those bars. We have, as we can see in here, we have this one in a circular pattern and this one on a vertical pattern. Let's start with the circular ones. I'm going to click on my square or rectangle tool. I'm going to zoom in, and let's make something, I think it's something like this, a little bit thinner. Are we okay there? Yeah, I think it's fine there. Perfect. Now B to escape, B, sorry, B, there we go. I'm going to take the stroke out. I don't want a stroke, I want it like this, and I'm going to center on my line. Now I'm taking this center and I'm going to move it, my rotation center, and I'm going to move it to the actual center. So there we go, that is fine. I'm going to rotate this one, let's say somewhere there. It needs to be perfect. Now Ctrl J, and now I'm going to rotate this one. I'm going to leave a little bit of gap there. It doesn't need to be perfect, just to leave a gap. Now if you click now Command J, you keep repeating that, is actually using the gap, so it's easy to actually create this shape. I think my computer there got a little bit sluggish. Anyway, I think that is fine. Let me zoom to see. Let's create a couple of more. It doesn't need to be perfect again. Now with this one, what we can do is let's create just only one shape. To do that is you select all of them, you go to geometry, and here at the top, and you click add, and basically now it's just only one curve. I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to put one there. So I'm going to take the center again, and I'm going to move it right in the middle. So now this one rotates using the center of my circle. I'm going to leave it there, Ctrl J, and I'm going to move that one somewhere there. Now I think this one is a little bit wide, so I wanna just cut it a little bit. To do that is I'm going to take another circle on the center. I'm going to move it there. Now as you can see here at the bottom right on my transform panel is not 800, so if we go there and click 800 by 800, now it's center. And what we do is B, we select this one. Now let me see, I want a little bit thinner, okay, but just only this one, no both. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select this one. We come here to geometry at the top, and we click subtract, and now this one is thinner. Okay, so I'm not going to sit you through the entire process and how to do all the little things. Basically what I'm doing is always the same. I'm choosing one of the shapes. I go to the center if it is rounded. If it is not rounded or it's not a circle, what I'm doing is I'm creating just on a place wherever I want to create it, and then to rotate it and to keep it concentric, what I do is I grab the circle or the center of rotation and I move it to the center. Okay, so I'm going to start putting more things now on this design. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you don't get bored and go through the entire thing exactly the same. When I go to something a little bit more special, I'm going to stop and I'm going to explain what I'm doing. Okay, see you just now. Okay, now to create this part that is there almost at the end, what I'm going to use is this that is called it's a cog. So I'm going to click on that one. This is the a little bit more interesting part. I'm going to make something that goes beyond that circle a little bit like this, and now I'm going to move this one right to the top, and now this one inside, and then I think we can move it in. No, let's leave it there. I think this one, okay, I think it like that is fine. So I'm going to leave it something like that. Let me see if I make it. You need to try it until you get it in the way that you want. Maybe let's increase this one, something like that. 16 I think is going to be fine. Yeah, I think this one is going to be perfect there. Sorry, I'm going to put it there. No, I'm not happy with this, so I'm going to make it shorter like that. Now I'm happy. Now it's more or less what I want. So let's make sure, as you can see, this one is not actually centered. Be very careful with that all the time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create one for the center. What I'm going to do is Ctrl J, and I'm going to make it smaller somewhere there, and I'm going to give it a little bit of rotation so it's not exactly the same. And now we need to create the outside parts. So I'm going to again a donut, and basically now I'm finishing. You can take this as an idea. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not doing exactly the same like the practice one, but I got a pretty good idea of what I'm trying to achieve. So always remember, this actually is a matter of trial and error until you get something that you are comfortable or you actually like. So let me Ctrl J so I don't need to make another one. Let's make it like this. Let's go for this tool. Let's make it somewhere there. I think it's fine. No, it's not fine. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker, and now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, but I'm going to take the fill, and I'm going to give it a, let's give it a 4 pixels. Perfect. I think we are getting or you are getting the idea how this works. Anyway, I think this is everything for today's video. I think it's enough. I'll show you quite a few techniques in how to use especially all these shapes and the tools and how to manipulate them. If you like the video, give the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. Any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the section down below. And like always, see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching.